You can't just sit and maybe show a dream, but you also have to make the effort.
When I left film school, I didn't think I was cut out for production. Literally 6 months of sleepless nights. I put my life savings, borrowed from family and friends. So I think two of the big barriers for me was, strangely, confidence and then finance. And yes, it was painful. Yes, I'm still drowning in debt, but from people who had never visited Pakistan, they have this idea of Pakistan that it just,
like
they
want to see us in a certain light too sometimes. That's what I feel. I'd say that they wanted my film to look like a very Hollywood film, right? Like that, if your protagonist is being oppressed, if they're telling me that, no, your protagonist should now go and probably inflict violence upon this oppressor, and I'm like, even the idea of feminism in the West is very different from, how I would see feminism.
We are women, we share the same experiences. Passports don't matter. They shouldn't matter. Why should they matter, right?
Hello, I'm Meenakshi Shedde. I'm here at the Toronto International Film Festival and its 50th anniversary with a sparkling team of filmmakers from South Asia who've been selected at TIFF this year. This is Sana Jafri, who has a wonderful short called Permanent Guest. She has a whole body of work. She was also associate producer and casting director on Joyland, Saim Sadiq's film that was at Cannes, won 2 prizes, and a whole body of other work besides. So I'm going to introduce him briefly. Feel free to add if you'd like. This is Seemab Gul, British Pakistani artist whose Ghost School is here at TIFF. It's a very special film. It's a debut feature. She's I don't know if you can call her a lab veteran, but she's done tons of labs, mountains of labs, Berlinale Talents, Open Doors, Torino, I don't know what all. And most of them are also producers other than being directors. So this is also something we would like to discuss. This is Carol Ann Noronha, producer, executive producer, associate producer. She's worked with Zarar Khan's In Flames. She's worked on Fauzia Mirza's Queen of My Dreams, and she's also on Ghost School by Seemab, and tons of other work, including Diya and stuff, which have been to many, many festivals. That's Adnan Al Rajeev from Bangladesh, who has a fantastic short film, Ali, which is in shortcuts. It already won the special mention at the Cannes Film Festival, and it's now here at TIFF. Welcome, all of you. Thank you for giving me your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Seemab, going to start with you as the big feature here. Your body of work is very diverse. She studied fine arts and filmmaking, so she has a lot of installation work, fine art, film, drama, docu. Documentary Zaida won a prize at the Seattle Film Festival, South Asian Film Festival. Tell us what was the starting point of Ghost School, and also where does it fit in your body of work?
So Ghost School was conceived after looking at, coming across real ghost schools and ghost hospitals and unfortunately ghost colleges when I was traveling across Pakistan in 2022 covering the floods at that time as a documentary filmmaker. And I started to question my friends.
Tell us what does it mean, ghost school? What does it mean?
Okay, so ghost schools are schools which are there on paper, but there was a good intention, by the federal government to have those schools built, but due to mismanagement of funds and possibly corruption, those schools are not operating. So the children are not being educated, and often the rumor goes that the teachers get paid. So when I started researching into it, it was such a mystery to a point where the research on the numbers are so vague, but I found my conclusion is that there's about 15,000 ghost schools, unfortunately, in Pakistan.
My God, what a crazy number is that?
Leaving 22 million children out of school because of that, and then literacy rate amongst women is 50%. So these statistics, these are not the reason, to be honest, why I started making this film. The reason, I guess, the personal thing is both my grandmothers never went to school and did not know how to read or write, and so I wanted to reflect on that and how important it is for girls' education, and therefore my protagonist is Rabia, a 10-year-old girl who goes on a journey to find out why her school is closed and will not take simple answers.
That's lovely. It's quite a feminist film for a little pint-sized dynamo feminist. I love that a lot. Sana, tell us about what does it mean to have your film at TIFF? You've just moved here to Toronto, so this is like a welcome party in a very special way. That's really lovely. Tell us about permanent guest. I really, really, really loved Rasa Farouk's role. I mean, it's amazing what she does of it. But I think one of the things I really liked about your film, first of all, you can tell us what it's about, but also it's just so subtle and it leaves a lot. It trusts the audience's intelligence a lot to get it, and I think that's very accomplished for a filmmaker to have the confidence to trust the audience intelligence. That doesn't come a lot in our kind of filmmaking in our part of the world. So tell us a little about that process, please.
So you're absolutely correct. When I wrote the first draft for Permanent Guest and I sent it out to my producer and then a couple of friends that I trust, some of them absolutely loved it and got it. People who knew my body of work and the way I think. But a lot of people who didn't know me were like, but nothing's really happening. So what is actually happening in the film? And then I'd be like, oh, I mean, I think there's a lot happening. And of course, like, you know, the cinematography and the acting, because in my head, I exactly...
Maybe you can also share what the film is about first. Please step back.
Sure, of course. Yeah. So the film is about, you know, the silence around certain things within South Asian households. And in Permanent Guest case, it is about sexual abuse within families and how, you know, women do not talk about it, are not allowed to talk about it, and how they have to continue with their lives pretending as if everything is normal. So for me, the kinds of things that I'd seen on screen were way too dramatic, right? And I thought that either, you know, me and all the women that I know who are survivors, either we're not doing enough, or maybe we're not being dramatic about it, or what's happening on screen is just not facts, which is obviously the case. So I wanted to really, because I'm also developing a feature which is on, you know, the same lines, I really wanted to challenge myself and test if I could trust the audience to get the silences and get what is unsaid in moments, because that is what happens in real life. We don't get justice. We don't get up and be like, how dare you? You know, if we've been abused 20 years ago and we're meeting that person and he's a part of our family, we're not, you know, going to make a ruckus. We always, as women, have to suck it in and make sure everybody else around us is uncomfortable, is comfortable, and we take all the discomfort upon ourselves. So yeah, it was a challenge, and I was like, I got to take it now before I do the feature, because in the feature I really, you know, I can't fail. So I'm glad that the audiences, you know, are appreciating
what kind
that.
Of responses did you get at TIFF?
So my premiere is tomorrow, and I had the press and industry screening, and you know, TIFF is busy, so I've heard back from 3-4 people from press, and they loved it. They want to have interviews and all, but I'm really going to find out tomorrow what it's going to be like. Yes, so I'm still super nervous.
Lots of good energy for your world premiere tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Carol, can you tell us what was your role? I mean, we know your designation on Go School, but tell us a little bit about the challenges of making something like that. Whether you're able to freely talk about things or tell things as they are, or did you feel that even in the way the film dealt with, you have to find a roundabout way of telling things? I loved it so much that you told it through the eyes of a child. That was a fantastic move, I thought, which is it's a known way of addressing big ills, but it really works. So tell us about those challenges while making a film in Pakistan.
Sure. Well, I think for a film like this, we knew that we needed to go on as many real locations as possible. And we shot on the outskirts of Karachi a little bit, which is a challenge, because getting permissions, taking a big crew, trying to get authentic spaces as much as possible. I remember we were trying to get the school. It was tough, because again, the topic that we're doing, the kind of story we're telling, it's an honest story. I guess not many people want to admit that they're a part of it, but it was challenging in many spaces. Thankfully, we have a great crew. They've always been supportive. On all of my films, I try and maintain as many of the same people as possible. and they pull through for us in terms of locations, in terms of managing even the people, the locality, the area. That's as important, because we are stepping into someone else's home, into someone else's village, into someone else's space. And so technically, so we're the guests. We need to get them on board with what we're doing. It's about explaining to them instead of making them assume that we're taking over or we're trying to say something bad about them, which we're not. And I think when you have the right team with the right energy and the right intention, and when you actually explain to them the reason behind why we're doing this, which is we want to promote education, and especially for girls, I think that's when it started becoming a little easier.
When they understand you're on their side.
Yes, and I'll be honest, it's still always a challenge. I think probably my location manager and my production teams have the hardest time, because it's a lot of people management that they have to do when shooting on the streets of Karachi and on the outskirts. So honestly, hats off to them for pulling that off for all of us, for all of our films.
Super. Thank you for that. Adnan, your film Ali, it has images that are burned in our brains. We're all scratching our heads. What all did he mean? Did he mean this? Did he mean that? And I think what struck me very powerfully, first of all, you can tell us what the film is about. But I think there were images which are very rarely in the same film, because they're images of so much beauty and so much terror and brutality back to back. You place them almost back to back, that it's very startling and something we won't forget in a long time. Tell us a little about what it's about and how it came to be in this shape and form.
So first of all, thank you so much, because it's great to have powerful filmmakers around, and also women filmmakers. It's very difficult.
Being the token woman for now.
Yes.
Very gracious about it. You're the precious counterpoint for their views.
So it's great, because I've been looking up to women filmmakers always, because in my country as well, I always wanted women to come into filmmaking, and it's very tough to, and it's very, very rare. So, but it's great. Congratulations to you all. Anyway, so yeah, about Ali. So Ali, I wanted to make, in contrary to what you have been saying, like what the film you have made. So I wanted to answer that actually, because it's an allegory between for the universal tension between the self and the society. So what society asks you to be, and we are all used to the idea of what the society wants it to be. And I wanted to create the resilience that, okay, no, it's not always what the society would mean to you, and you can just be what you are and try and do that. But maybe there's pain. Maybe you might fail, but you should always try. So that's what the idea was actually. And in Bangladesh, I've been making TV commercials and fictions, and I've been producing
a huge body of work.
Yeah.
Big series, films, music videos, a number of shorts, zillions of commercials.
So and I was doing good there, and it's going well. But then again, before last year, one of my colleague, now my producer Tanvir, he came to me and Hussain, yes. He came to me and he told me that, okay, there is a very interesting work which is going to be, they're stuck in a project and they're trying to make a short film. And as you produce, would you want to do something which is more interesting? And this director and the producers are very, interesting. So I said, yeah, why not? I just wanted to try. So I talked to them, I had a meeting with them, and I loved the idea. They were so wacky and so interesting. And they're from Philippines. Arvin is the director.
Arvin
Bellarmino and yes, and Christine was the producer. So they were all.
So this is a Bangladeshi-Filipino collaboration.
Right, yes.
Lovely. Wow. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, so that was very interesting. Yes.
So it's called Agapito. So this company, Catalog Films, which is a Bangladesh-Filipino collaboration, has 2 films at TIFF. Get this.
Wow. Yeah.
Ali and Agapito. So
yes.
to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so interesting. So as I was I just met Arvin and I was talking about how it is so great to collaborate, because we're all in a space of, we're all on a cultural journey. Like for Bangladesh, we're all on the similar page. And when somebody from other country comes in and they have some different kind of vision, and that when it adds, it becomes something else. And now, and it felt so great because both of the films went to Cannes and now it's at TIFF. So it's great. So yeah, that's how I produced their Radicals before that.
Radicals was also at Cannes.
And that was at the Critics Week. And that's when I thought, okay, so now that I've produced, I wanted to, make my kind of filmmaking. I want to say my story. So, and that's when I decided out there at Cannes. So we were just having lunch, and we said, okay, why don't you just collaborate and create a company which talks about South Asia and Southeast Asia, and it's a mix, and it has never been done before. So we can just all try, and everybody agreed. And that's when I thought of making a short film, because I wanted to, I have a body of work which is more on the commercial aspect. So I wanted to, portray something. I wanted to make something which is more, from my heart, which actually talks about political statement or social commentary or something like that. And
Tell us in a line what the synopsis is about, because it's about Ali.
yeah, so it's about finding your own voice, whether because in a society like ours and also in Pakistan, it's always the community and the film, the community and the families, they always shape us to what we become, and we are so stuck with the idea of what the society would think, and I wanted to break that. I wanted to say that no, you have your own voice, and just bring that out. Probably you can be different, you can be somebody. Like I was just listening to the session of the Left-Handed Girls director, and she was also saying like when she was young, I mean when the artist was young, she the mother asked the daughter not to write with left hand because it's not, the handwriting wouldn't be right. But then again, she now, after the film is made, and now she's more, she's there, the family actually understood, and they are writing with the left hand because they think that okay, it's all right to write with left hand. So it's that.
I'm going to share one image. Is it okay if I share this one image? Oh my God. This film starts with an image you cannot believe. I don't know. It has an extreme close-up. I don't even want to ask you how it's done because I can't. It starts with somebody's lips in extreme close-up, which is literally being sewed up with a needle and thread, like sewing up someone's lips and voice. So it's like so graphic, it is so metaphorical, but really brutal to watch. And then you have these images of extreme beauty with this him swimming with a lot of in a lotus-filled lake, etc., etc. So very, very interesting altogether. And I love it because it's so startling. We've not seen anything from Bangladesh like that. So all of your voices are so original and lovely. So tell us a little about what you've got a zillion projects, I think. I think this probably goes for a lot of people who have 4, 5 irons in the fire, and then one will get done suddenly, money comes and happens. Tell us about Go School. You have like tons of producers, and you're also a producer on it, aren't you? Yeah. So how is this crazy world insisting that artists also become producers? Is that something you're comfortable with? You think it's really practical, or you can't stand it but you clench your teeth and needs to be done? What is as an artist, how do you feel about being an artist and producer? And what was the process of producing this film? Sorry, my questions are long.
No, that's
but
okay. So I don't have that many producers on Go School. I think you kind of maybe are thinking about Haven of Hope, which has too many producers.
But also,
Go School has...
It has a German one.
Yeah, of course, Carol, and then a German co-producer, and
tell us the names.
Cheyenne Meir, and then we have Stefan Gerdes. From Germany, and we have the Red Sea Fund. And basically,
that's 4, 5. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay.
She's got so many others.
Sorry. So originally, so I became, I guess, an
and Red Sea Fund is from Saudi Arabia. So these are very, very international co-production sources.
That's right. That's right. So I became an accidental producer. I didn't. When I left film school, I didn't think I was cut out for production, but I kind of always, was the last person standing to protect my own film, to support my own film, to look for funding. And so that's how I became a producer. With Go School, it's very strange because we were supposed to shoot a different film that was postponed, and I got tired of waiting, and I decided I'm so ready to make a film, and I wanted to do the right and ethical thing of paying the crew who were, already, ready. They had left their other jobs. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to pay them no matter what, whether I make a film or not make a film. So I thought, should it be a short, should it be a feature? And then literally in 10 weeks wrote 8 drafts and shot it.
But I love where she comes from, wanting to be decent at the lowest of the low, which is always the guys to get sacked first or shortchanged, right? So
how do you mean?
Because you're like the guys at the bottom of the hierarchy filmmaking.
Yes.
They're dispensable. Like the big guys, they get their salaries.
Sure,
and we always shortchange the low guy. Adjust kar lo, so next film mein, etc. So what you said is honoring those guys first, and that totally changes the equation of where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So thank you for saying
But
that.
it was self-financed originally, which was really, really painful. I had literally 6 months of sleepless nights. I put my life savings, borrowed from family and friends.
Good Lord,
And so I was completely on my own financially speaking until we were in post-production. So
you shot on the feature.
yes, the
You
feature.
shot everything on your own.
Yes.
And these guys came in at the post. Wow.
Yeah, so Red
This is
Sea,
incredible
yeah.
risk-taking. So bravo for that.
Thank you.
Because
So-
that's incredible conviction that it needs to be told.
So I think the
Fantastic.
confidence was gained on Sandstorm, and because of Sandstorm, Haven of Hope was fully financed by, I don't know.
Okay, I'll step back from it.
it-
So Sandstorm Mulakat was a short film that was at Venice. So that was like big launch for her international career in film. Yeah.
So I think two of the big barriers for me was, strangely, confidence and then finance. And because I gained the confidence because Haven of Hope was already fully financed, it was just like a mishap that the producers didn't want to go ahead. So I thought, actually, if my first feature, which now became my second feature, is fully financed, then I'm going to just invest in myself, in my career, but also tell the story that I really want to tell. And yes, it was painful. Yes, I'm still drowning in debt, but the best thing that came out of it is the freedom to tell the story I want in the way I want, without having executives or broadcasters, down my neck, and just having an amazing supporting cast and crew, a huge team, and Carol was leading that team on the ground with Chai and Mir. So just that, I think it was just really like micro budget, passion project.
Yeah. But I think you find it liberating that when you're in control of the material and you don't have to, as you said, have others breathing down your neck. It really allows liberating to do exactly what you want. Is that something, a model you'd like to follow, or okay, not after this?
It's not for everyone. I think for auteur filmmakers who want to carve their own original and independent voice. They may benefit from it. Most people prefer to make some money and have producers and senior mentors guiding them. But I had 30 mentors and a ridiculous amount of producers on Haven of Hope. Which, by the way, was selected at an early stages of the Biennale College Cinema of the Venice Film Festival. So she's really accomplished at many international platforms. So the strange thing is that I also became the senior producer, one of the delegate producers of Haven of Hope, because it took 4 years in development, and because I was leading the development alongside other producers, some of whom unfortunately had to be replaced. And so what I'm saying is this accidental becoming of a producer, like on literally every film, Sandstorm and Go School and Haven of Hope, was just literally the leading, let's say, energy that is moving the project forward. And no matter how, I trust my producers, and they're really, really great, co-producers. But they have other projects, they have other priorities. So I'm talking about directors becoming their own producers. Absolutely. They are going to guide it, all the way through. They're going to see it through.
Can I have a follow-up question?
Yes, please.
So I just wanted to ask, after you got all the short films and everything done, and it went to great festivals, and then you started making a feature, right? So, and did you ever try to go into labs? And you did?
She's a lab veteran.
I don't think anyone's done more labs than that.
Berlinale Talents, Locarno, Open Doors, Torino at least, and maybe a zillion others.
So just to correct you, I applied to the Torino production fund, but I did not. The Torino workshop. Yes, the workshop in Madrid.
So my question was actually after all these labs, do you think the labs actually shapes the film, or it just takes away the whole the main idea or the essence? What do you think?
So I think there's a danger. I mean, I myself am foreign educated, kind of living between London and Pakistan, but on a very strict note, I know this is going to be public and internationally available, but it's like there's a lot of Western influence, and I think we need to develop our own voices in the way that we want to tell. And I got totally inspired by Iranian cinema because Iranian culture and heritage and even some of the history overlaps with Urdu and Persian, the language, and everything else, and our embracing of tragedy, perhaps also, inspired me. So the danger of labs. So on a positive note, I'm grateful for all the mentors I had. I'm grateful for all the support I had. It's a very small, cliquey world of programmers, and where everyone knows everyone. So the Torino people are deciding for Venice, and it's really like that. But so there's a danger that we want to please our mentors and change our language or change our ending for the sales agents, for example. But then you have the other stranger side where can we really develop a so-called national or identity and a voice in our regions? We could develop our own labs, perhaps, or be the guiding light for the future generations. But I just feel like sometimes
I agree.
I was given German feedback, and sometimes the feedback were from people who had never visited Pakistan. They have this idea of Pakistan that it
should
just
be like this.
They want to see us in a certain light too. Sometimes that's what I feel. They
Yeah.
even when I was at certain labs, and very different. So in North America it was different, and then in Europe it's different.
Give us you don't have to take names.
Yeah.
But give us the kind of feedback that made you really uncomfortable. It was well meant for you.
I think at the time it didn't make me uncomfortable because we go into these spaces with an imposter syndrome, thinking that everybody else is better than us.
Yeah.
And we're like,
agree.
and we're going to just sit in a corner and take it all in.
This is so true. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, so that was my first lab experience, which was life-changing for me in the best way possible. But then when I got back and reflected on the notes that I got, I realized that they just want me to make a different film altogether.
Give us one example. And no names.
For
here,
example,
just-
no.
It's good for us to know what perspective they're coming from.
I mean, I'd say that they wanted my film to look like a very Hollywood film, right? Like that, if your protagonist is being oppressed in like this
You're
act.
referring to not permanent guest. You're referring to
I'm referring to my feature that I'm still developing. I went to Film Independent and L'Osage du Monde in Paris with that, and they literally changed my life. But I would look back and I was like, they're telling me what they know. But they don't know how things happen in our part of the world. They don't know what family dynamics we have.
You often never been to the country, as she said.
Absolutely. Nobody had been there. Nobody knows that, in our films, it's not about individuality because we've never lived as individuals. We're so interconnected. And what we were talking about, you were talking about before, right? So if they're telling me that, no, your protagonist should now go and probably inflict violence upon this oppressor. And I'm like, and just have that, make it more dramatic. And so even the idea of feminism in the West is very different from, how I would see feminism or how anybody would, so I would say that, the white feminism is very different from the kind of feminism that, So those things, I just feel like it's culturally very different. So what I did was I was like, these were very good structure notes, so I can incorporate this into the plot and, structurally kind of learn from it. But there are certain things that if I start listening to them, then it won't be my voice anymore.
It's like kela kha ke upar ka chhod.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add to your thing with a little insight about this Miranar's film Salam Bombay. No,
Yes.
was it? No, sorry. Monsoon Wedding, which was written by Sabrina Dhawan. And I had no clue when I saw it. Of course, I adored it and I thought it was fabulous. And much later, I think couple of years back, there was this book. I forget the exact title. It's women screenwriters in Hindi cinema, by women screenwriters only in Hindi cinema, from looking at historic early thing till now, by Anubha Yadav. Fantastic eye opener for me. And I just died because I read that for Sabrina, it was a personal tragedy that she experienced. and which had no comfortable conclusion, but she sublimated it in the film by having this uncle called out who had abused her as a child, right? So you sublimate in film what you're not able to get in real life, right? Absolutely. But you know, for me, that revelation was a whole other thing, right? For us, it was already very daring. It's exactly the family dynamics that can't be called out, will not be called out, etc. So it's very interesting how different people are able to arrive at that. But I also wanted to ask you to follow up her thread. Do you have an easy answer, because you worked on a whole lot of international co-productions, and also your films have traveled very widely at international festivals. Is there an easier way to produce films within Pakistan, or you really also can't tell the stories you want and the budgets you want and you need foreign money? Like, where is this? What is more comfortable for you so far in your personal experience?
Well, I mean, all the films that we've done are co-produced. So co-produced meaning the finances mostly come from abroad.
Correct.
And we shoot in Pakistan.
Correct.
Or we shoot within two countries.
Yeah.
With the exception of, I think, 1978 was actually the executive producers were from Pakistan. They were from Karachi.
Correct.
Which is great to know that there are people there who support.
Yeah.
But I think those are less than a handful. Like, they're very, very few, right?
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to independent cinema, like, you see, like, there are voices and there are stories that, and they exist. We have stories. And I keep telling people, I'm like, you know, we are not Bollywood. We are not even Irani cinema. We have our own voice, right? Yes. But there's no one to support it. Where's the support system? It cannot always be that once we reach a festival, once people see us on a red carpet, in Cannes, in TIFF, and in Berlin, or let's say, you know, they see our social media posts about the talent program labs, then they start coming with, we'd like you to help us make a film, or how did you do it? But my whole thing is, where were you before? Where were you before? Because those stories still existed.
Correct.
We still needed support. We still had the same voices. But where were you before? So it should not be the case, you know, that should not be the case, that struggle should not, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's very possible to at least partially fund independent cinema through Pakistan itself.
Give us some names of people who have produced risky things in Pakistan so far, few of them maybe.
They're sitting in front of me. They really are. But I'll be honest. So when I started independent cinema, my journey started with Zarar. And we both started with the first...
Zarar Khan, who directed In Flames.
Yes. And we started with Dia. He had done one short film before. And Dia was our first project together, after which we did 4 short films, right? And for me, that was a starting point for me to build a team for I had never done something like that before. I'd never done independent cinema. We come from a commercial industry. I'd been doing commercials, music videos, but I wanted to do narrative. And I think when you have a passion and when you know that you want to do something, you need to do it. And I think now, I mean, we have amazing filmmakers in front of us. I think we are that example that you have to do. You know, you can't just sit and maybe dream, but you also have to do. You have to make the effort. I think all of us collectively through labs, we have filled out grant forms, we have done God knows what all to get our films made. You know, and the budgets have not been insane. To shoot in Pakistan is not easy. I think people also have this assumption that it's cheap to shoot in Pakistan. It's not. So we know, and I will say this for my team, and I have to say this because they have been a support system from day one. Some of my team members have been with me from the time we did Dia, which is the first short film.
Which was at Locarno, by the way.
Which was at Locarno, 100%. And they've been with me since then. And obviously there have been new additions and people, but they've improved and they've stayed. And our goal is to try and build them. Someone who's not here today with us, who should be, is my co-line producer, because I was in Canada. So I overlooked the project from here. Shayan Mir was with me. It was basically on ground in Karachi.
Wow,
and if I'm not mistaken, it was Seemab, our DP, Zama, and Shayan. Yeah, and Shayan. These were the 3 main female filmmakers who were on ground shooting in outskirts of a village. And that's not easy. As much as it sounds, it's not easy. She took on that, you know. So I'm just saying that there are powerful filmmakers, voices, women. We need a space and we need the support before we get to a red carpet. I'd like to say that.
Absolutely. Tell us if there's any glimmerings of a support system. There was Shabial earlier. You've been fostering your own team. Are there little pockets of support system for independent cinema and work in Bangladesh which can potentially? And the other thing I have to really say about these guys, and maybe all of you, these guys are fully Busan. They're all the Bangladeshis, I know Korean is their second language. They're all at Busan, APIC, APM, this, that. They're all doing post-production. Half the film they're doing post-production in Korea with Korean editors and arguing with them. I don't know how Bangla Korean arguments work. But I think this is really very interesting to me that it's really an extension of the same thing, that if you don't get independent funding at home for independent voices, then if it's abroad, but usually typically some is the Western model and you guys are the Korean Asian model, and that's really interesting because it comes from a very different culture and a different support system. Tell us about that experience, how that has worked out for Bangladeshi films which have done co-production.
See, Bangladeshi government doesn't care about your filmmaking process, so we don't have any.
Join the club, I think.
Yeah. So it's sadly we don't have any filmmaking. What do you call the funding? Anything which actually is
We
fun.
have support systems, but I think we need more. I mean, there are support systems in place, but
But then again, the support system actually doesn't talk about the international projects. Is that has different dynamics of choosing their own projects.
in
So
India we have a support
in India that's there, but Bangladesh it's like there's no nothing that's similar to that. So that's one thing. So what we do is basically we work in commercials and as she was saying, like we just save the money and we do it. But then again, having said that, like also for features, like if I as I was asking, like if we go for labs and then again after the labs we'll have to go for the funding, and it's a long process of looking for the right partnership and everything, and that is so difficult for a filmmaker, I feel, to actually create a body of works, because right now for me I think like probably I kind of can write faster probably, but then again I feel okay, so it doesn't take so much of time to actually build a strong script, I guess. Like it doesn't have to be a 5 year or 7 years of journey, right?
It shouldn't have to take
Right?
that long. It shouldn't
Yeah.
have to take 5 years to get one short or one film made.
Mhm.
Because it doesn't take the average other person.
Right.
that
That's
much
what I'm
time.
saying, right?
But I'm trying to understand, in contrast to their experience, what does it mean to get money or post-production? I mean, money doesn't come in money form, it comes in services or different technical skills, etc. What does it mean to get, because a number of Bangladeshi films have got support in different ways, in the Busan Festival, APM, this, that, or the producers have been at
Yes,
artists, etc. So how does that influence and shape or influence the original voices that are wanting to come out of Bangladesh?
So how they do is basically getting the human connections. Like I know you, I request you, and we do we come together and help each other. That's the way. So that's the only thing I think that goes for filmmakers like us. That's one thing. And second is like if you go to definitely like post-production fundings and also that's another different process. But then it's not so easy, because for me I could do the post-production in Philippines because I had a producer who is from Philippines. So because they're all friends, and I said okay, I need this, and then there's this merit of probably the film which the post-production they agreed to do that. So it's not very easy, I'd say, because also like the money I've invested on the short film, I don't know whether I'm getting back. I probably will not get back there, right?
Yeah.
So
But sometimes it's, I guess, establishing like your signature voice, and then hopefully from there it comes in later.
Yes, right.
it's a
So
good patience.
again, that's the patience we have to bear, because again, like now that I've made a short, and then for the feature, probably I'm ready with my script, but then again, I have to have a longer run to get the right amount of money, and then after making that, I don't know whether I'll be able to sell that or not. So that's a different ball game for us again. So I think that needs more
I
patience.
think we really need to have like more closer South Asia. I don't know.
I
something that goes on beyond India.
absolutely.
And to join the dots and support each other, like also sharing contacts and resources.
Yes.
I also think, and one of the things that is often discussed actually is that when we're in South Asian spaces, which is amazing. Honestly, we meet such amazing filmmakers, such amazing people, but it always helps to include other South Asian filmmakers across the board.
Yes,
So that, and I think part of it is just confidence, knowing that your voice is heard,
Yeah.
it's accepted in South Asian spaces. As Pakistanis,
Yeah.
you're from Bangladesh. Exactly. And Nepalis. I was going to yeah, there's so few of us, right? So to be recognized as just as artists in communities where we hope to be, we want to be a part of it. Why? Because South Asia is all of us, right?
Our stories are very similar.
Exactly.
Where we're coming from is so similar.
Exactly. I mean, I recently had this experience where I'm working right now on a project with an Indian writer, Indian director, and the fact that we had to think about how would this work for the public? And the first thing we thought about it's a story of the subcontinent women. We are women. We share the same experiences. Passports don't matter. They shouldn't matter. Why should they matter, right? And we shouldn't have to think about that. And I just wanted to say that, we should be included as independent voices, as Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, Nepalis, she said, just so that our confidence is also boosted along the way.
So I just add to that. I think, as you said, it's very important. As you're saying, it's very important to have a compact, people around.
Organic energies,
right?
Synergies.
And we're all adrift of each other. We probably just don't meet up that well. So, but then again, I think if this can come into a common ground, probably there is a good chance of taking our films.
Collective, I think. I'm part of something called the Bichitra Collective, which is South Asian documentary makers. Mostly NRIs, so Indian documentary makers in the US and India. So I've said for a long time, listen, this needs to be made South Asian, and they don't have the bandwidth because they're all busy or their mothers have 2 kids, and if you don't do a proper job, people feel left out or not respected, and that's not nice. They're saying we're ready to do it. We will do it when we're ready. Because that has always been my agenda. I'm always looking at South Asia. I've never looked at only India. And just to add, so India has a film facilitation office. It's called different things now. I think it's Indian Cinema Hub. So we have actually a policy in place, which is after a long time really, which works on the ground. And of course, there's also WIF India, Women in Film India, which I think also. So I'm so happy you could actually be.
What about me?
Thank you. We are considering you honorary part of us. We are considering you part of us. So thank you very much for sharing those wonderful insights. Good luck to all your films. May you go off like skyrockets with your films, and wishing you great careers. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for giving me your time. Thank you.